absolute pleasure to serve under your chairship, especially on this wonderful, warm and fabulous Thursday. And I want to thank my honourable friend, the member for Liverpool Walton, for securing this debate. As we know, my honourable friend, he brings strong knowledge to this place on international relations, not least because of his role as president of the Forum of Young Parliamentarians of the International Parliamentary Union, but also because of his leadership of the APPG for Mexico. I think it's essential that as we work to reconnect Britain with our friends and partners around the world, to engage closely through Parliament and through interparliamentary institutions. It's through these organisations that we help to build consensus on issues important to all of our countries, our trade, to human rights, the rule of law, and indeed the importance of the international rules-based order. And my friend for Liverpool Walton is clearly doing an absolutely sterling job on that account, including this debate today. So I'd like to express my thanks on behalf of the opposition to him and to all of those who play such an important role in forging and developing the ties that bind our two countries ever closer together. And that includes our diplomats, but equally businesses and civil society leaders. Can I also say to my honourable friend from Islington North that I thoroughly enjoyed listening to his contribution today, and that I have now clocked absolutely his plea for us to add 2 days to any trip that we might be lucky enough to have to Mexico. And I would certainly love to be going around a museum like that to show me the depth of the history and the beauty of the culture of this amazing nation. But I have to say, if I'm going to be completely honest today, UK-Mexico relations aren't yet an area of expertise for me. So I hope my colleagues, not yet, so I hope my colleagues will forgive me if I keep my remarks briefer than normal on this occasion. And can I add my voice to say that it's an absolute privilege to be joined by Ambassador Josefa González Blanco and her embassy team here today, who worked tirelessly to strengthen the ties between our nations. I'd also like to congratulate my honourable friend, the member for Cardiff North, on her appointment to the Labour FCDO team as Shadow Minister for Latin America and the Caribbean. Unfortunately, she can't be here today, but I'm delighted to be here with you this afternoon instead. As my honourable friend has stated, 2023 marks the bicentennial anniversary of the start of formal diplomatic relations between the UK and Mexico. And next week, on the 16th of September, Mexicans will celebrate their Independence Day. The opposition wants to extend our warmest wishes for that very happy event. Strengthening our relationship with Mexico can only bring significant benefits to both of our countries. Mexico, as we know, is the second largest economy in Latin America, the 16th largest in the world, and its demands for exports is expected to increase by over a third by 2035. And I think there's so much more that can be done to raise awareness and seize trade and investment opportunities. Sadly, Mexico accounted for only 0.3% of UK trade in 2021, making them our 44th largest trading partner.
I thank my friend for giving way, and she will be aware that the huge Tren Maya project that the government of Mexico has been pursuing to build a 1,500-kilometre railway line across the southern part of Mexico is going to be joined by some British railway rolling stock in the very near future, and it's being shipped from Great Yarmouth as we speak to help make up the rolling stock needs of the new railway. So there's an improvement, and I think there is an awful lot of railway technology in Britain that could well be marketed in Mexico.
I'm very grateful to my honourable friend for that information. You see, as the Foreign Secretary said earlier this year, and I quote, with some British businesses, they don't think of Latin America at all. So I hope the Minister will be able to expand today on what the government is doing to change that, to build on the example that my honourable friend has just given us, and to create new opportunities following our signing of the CPTPP trade agreement in July. As we know, once this agreement is in force next year, it should lower certain barriers to trade and enable our economic ties to deepen. At present, our trade is based on a continuity agreement following Brexit, and unfortunately this only covers goods, leaving out our strong service industries, including creative, digital, financial and legal industries. So I hope the Minister might be able to explain today what progress is being made on the prospects for an expanded bilateral agreement that takes better account of the UK's strengths and how global trade has changed over the 20 years since the Mexico-EU agreement was struck. Since May last year, I understand 3 rounds of talks have concluded. So I'd like to ask in what ways these talks are including the issues of climate, of human rights, workers' rights, which I know are also a priority for Mexico. In 2021, the integrated review, the government stated that it will, and I quote, deepen our ties with Brazil and Mexico, strengthening our partnership on trade, innovation, climate, security and development. So it would be good to hear today how the Minister thinks that we can achieve a greater synergy between Mexico's trade priorities and our own. As we know, Mexico plays a critical role in the geopolitics of the region. So what steps are being taken to make that strategic commitment to Mexico a reality? And can I gently ask the Minister to account for why there's not yet been an appointment of a Prime Ministerial trade envoy to Mexico? Because there are so many opportunities for stronger connections and partnerships, and I know that some of my honourable friends have participated in roles like this and made a real difference. So I just gently say that this might be something we might consider. Mexico has significant deposits of lithium, and there are reported rare earth resources in Mexican states. So as we know, securing a reliable supply chain for these minerals will be ever more essential as the UK decarbonises our economy. Under a Labour government, as we would hope to see quite soon, this will be a still greater priority given our ambition for a rapid shift to green energy and green industries. And both the UK and Mexico have strong and distinctive drinks industry. I must admit, I am a tequila fan. The UK is the 5th largest importer of Mexican tequila in the world. And as we have heard from my honourable friend, who speaks on the front bench for the Scottish Nationalist Party, Mexico is the 7th largest export market for Scotch by volume. I also like a Scotch too. But surely there's some potential to get more economic value from those trading flows for our mutual benefit. As all honourable friends today have noted, there are significant concerns about the rule of law, about human rights and insecurity in parts of Mexico. When it comes to our friends and our partners, we must have the courage and the conviction to speak honestly and frankly on a variety of issues. I know that in response to these concerns, the government has committed to establish a formal bilateral human rights dialogue with Mexico, and that will complement its trade negotiations. I certainly welcome that. But sadly, we haven't heard when the dialogue will begin, or if it has already, and I hope that the Minister might be able to update us on that today. Reconnecting Britain with our partners around the world is a vital objective for the opposition. And our relationship with Mexico is clearly a high priority within that. So I hope the Minister will be able to reassure us that significant progress is being made on strengthening our connections with this highly important partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. It's a pleasure to serve with you and the Chair once again.